I may overlap a little bit, but the importance of experience is the key factor. I wanted to tell you a story. I will get to their bedroom and how we planned it, but it is important to understand the entire home and have it all blend and look the way it should, and to really understand what their needs are. So we have a staycation oasis. This particular client, it was just after COVID, and they wanted to utilize their space as much as possible and make somewhat of an oasis. So meeting with them, they wanted it to be family-centric. They had small children. They wanted to make sure that it was there's spaces that entertained. They also loved to have family and friends over, and they loved music, and they wanted a discotheque atmosphere that they could control. Like I said, they want a luxury getaway, almost like a resort. And I think a lot of families are getting to that where they can utilize their yards and work with landscape architects and make things beautiful as if they're in a high-end hotel. It was a very modern build. It had beautiful sophistication and beautiful lines, and we were responsible for lighting the outside and the inside. And they really understood they wanted light as a focal point. They wanted light to really bring everything to life in their home and to make it look beautiful, even curbside. They wanted striking by day and magical at night. And I'm going to give you some examples of this. So this is the exterior. This was in Needham, Massachusetts, and it's right outside of Boston. And there's not a lot of land. So they bought a home, knocked it down, and it was a very small footprint, barely a half acre. So, they built up and they utilized the backyard and made it really beautiful. As integrators, we want to understand what they want outside, and we had to utilize sound in a very sensitive way because their neighbors are close by. So we positioned speakers and just about everything outside. They have a one-app solution, so we did lighting. They can heat the pool, all that fun stuff. And again, this is just another view of it.
I love that idea of just make it like a resort, because why just have that special experience twice a year or once a year? Why not have it at home on a regular basis? It's interesting. Doesn't have a heck of a lot to do with the master suite, but it's an interesting concept for all of you to bring to your clientele. It's like, let's make it feel like it's special all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing, and I'm sure for you, a lot of our clients have multiple homes. And so with these one-app solutions, they could be flying from Japan and they want to heat the pool. They can do it from the plane if they have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And another thing, what we sell, and we start with networks, network. And we really want to own the network. Why we want to do that is because of these staycations and what we learned with COVID. Everyone was home. Everyone was using their devices and really exhausting them. And if you have teenagers, they wanted to know why they couldn't game, and that was a priority. So, that's something. And then at the end of the day, we can control and monitor that network. Many times we know something's wrong before they do, and many times we fix it before there's any disruption in their home. I call it the hierarchy of needs, right? We, eat, sleep, Wi-Fi.
That's the
down
truth.
there
Oh,
now.
it's absolutely.
Wi-Fi's
I know,
right
it's
there.
actually a little more important than food. So I'm going to introduce you to their bedroom within this home. Something that's really important is layered lighting. One thing, the pendants are beautiful and they serve a purpose in design, and they cast light, but we never depend on pendant lighting. We really want to look at how lighting is positioned from the ceiling and also in this cove lighting and how it can influence the room. We believe that you light the walls and not necessarily the floor. So we're very sensitive to positioning that. Color accuracy, we talked a little bit about that, but in specific rooms, especially a kitchen, you can have a beautiful white cabinetry, but if with the wrong light and the wrong accuracy, it can look yellow, and I'm sure some of you have seen that happen. So we're really sensitive to making sure that task lighting and all the lighting is positioned in a way, and adjustable lights are the way to go throughout the whole home, because you never know where you're going to be putting some artwork or how you're going to position that light. Dimmable. In this, we have DMF LED fixtures. They were square and kind of went along with that modern look. I'm big on flangeless, but they have flanged, so it's okay. One thing about lighting too, and I tell, even the builders and the customer, I'll say, everyone in 10 years, unfortunately, might rip out that kitchen. They might redo the bathroom, but no one wants to rip out the ceiling. Invest and really look at your lighting and make sure it's positioned in the places that, you can adjust, and maybe there'll be new technology, but in the meantime, it's important to have them placed. It could be the life of the home. Linear lights, that's part of that layered lighting, and they're doing so much with linear lights. I just went to a lighting expo and saw these linear lights. I mean, you can look up and it looks like a black strip, and then when you turn it on, it's lit. So it's almost invisible in the room, and then only has a purpose when lit. It looks beautiful. It's great with spaces and kick spaces or walking to a hallway. If your kids are gonna use the hallway and knock on this bedroom door, they can be dimmable and positioned so that they can get to your bedroom door, or you may not want that and have no lights in there. And then also the keypad and all of that. And I was just saying, we do put a lot of AV in rooms and TVs. We can also work with gas fireplaces. I always say, why do you need a TV in your room if there's a lot of funner things to do than Netflix in the bedroom? And in case in point, we actually did Tom Brady's home, and he wanted a television to come out of his bed, come up and rotate 180 degrees. And I say now we all know where Giselle is, right? So it's maybe nice not to have the television in your bedroom.
They didn't get it.
Oh, they didn't get it.
No.
That's all right.
Come on,
Well, we're all
Brady
for
bashing,
Tom
let's go.
Yeah, I know.
I have to live in the middle of it all.
Right.
I'm a Bears fan, and I have
Uh-huh.
to live in the middle of it all.
And another thing is just reducing all the clutter, right? Our purpose is to have, one keypad that can do multiple things. Also, I like to mention that we have scenes where people's ringing the doorbell and they are watching TV in their bedroom. The TV will pause and actually show who's at the door. And you can actually even talk to them from there. So there's just so much. Here's another perspective of the bedroom. And again, we really wanted to make sure that the light from the windows would not disrupt their sleeping. And also, they have a television they wanted to look, so no reflecting light. There's a slider door next to the bed. So we utilized Hunter Douglas. We did room darkening. And what's really beautiful is that the valances all match these beautiful metalled kind of and painted ways that you can actually match and have even them specifically painted. But they worked really well in this window space. And I'm just going to give you a little video myself of how, this is not a great video, but just want to say how we're really sensitive of them all going down at the same time and being quiet. And we achieved that, because there is volume to this.
And those are not the light lock, right?
No light lock.
So,
And that's important to
Yeah,
really understand. So
yeah.
if someone says, I want my room to be dark, there's room darkening, and then there's a light lock where there's absolutely no light. And that's just something that sometimes you think room darkening is enough, and it's not. So making sure you have that
just wanted to
conversation.
find that, yeah.
Many
beautiful.
times they'll work with interior decorators, and I'm happy as I oversee a lot of the design elements. So I'm happy to show fabrics and what the solutions are, because not all the designers have them.
Can I just
Sure.
interrogate the audience for a second? So lighting and shading. I mean, the work that you're seeing here, and we've talked about this a little bit in some of the other sessions. I mean, this looks like this is a critical element of a luxury home, right?
Mhm.
The
Yes.
sophisticated, layered lighting, really thinking through purposes, the convenience, the functionality, the artistry of the lighting, the shades being integrated with that all. I mean, are we all in on this category? Or are we kind of sort of leaving it to our electricians? What's going on with lighting and shading? Who's all in on this already? Okay, so there's a bunch of us who aren't all in on this. And I don't know why, because this
Yeah.
seems like this is almost table stakes for some luxury clients. They may not ask about it
Right.
because they're not thinking about it,
Right.
because there's a lot of things to think about. But this is kind of this ambient set of stuff that is just critical to their long-term overall experience of the house that I just don't feel like we're as on top of it as we should be.
Right.
It's
I
something-
agree. Excuse me. No, please.
It's something you really have to see to believe. And once you see a home properly lit and you realize that for however many years since the light bulb was invented, that we have been aiming cans at the floor as to what Tara said, you realize how sort of ridiculous that is. Right? Once you have a home that is not lit in that fashion, it is 100% different than what we've all been kind of walking around.
Is it because we don't show homes and look at homes at night, or like why are we not on this?
Well, it does depend. Sometimes the architect will bring a lighting architect and designer in, and they can, specify and then later adjust everything so the home is at where. And we actually offer as integrators to bring in consultants. We recommend the consultant coming in, and we want to be kind of beyond 4 cans and a fan. A lot of times, there's $13 million homes that I've been in, and they have downlights that you can get at Home Depot, and it's really, really depressing to see. I've become a lighting snob. Believe me, I don't have it in my own home, but I look around and I'm like, lighting is important. So we do high end. We're Ketra lighting, Lutron lighting. It's human centric, so literally you can put the zip code in, and it'll adjust the light from the outside in throughout the day. There's such intelligence in it. We want to work with your electricians. A lot of times electricians get a little bit, whoa, they're on my territory. I want to sell you these, the lighting. We want to work with the lighting. Actually, our margins and theirs could, they could make more money on the project if they worked with us. They're not as interested in knowing about the new concepts of lighting. Right. They want to get in, do the labor, and get out. We want to stay with it, and we stay at the end of the project. When you're done, we stay with the home, and we'll make sure that lighting's working for them. And it's part of their scenes and everything that's important. So I'll keep on moving. And as far as the bedroom and what we used, we did have a one-app solution. We used Savant, and some of you may be familiar with this, Crestron or Control4, but Savant worked with this home. HomeWorks is part of the Lutron lighting, and it's a great solution too. And I don't know if many of you have heard of Josh, but it's a AI solution, and it's actually a very protective bubble. It's not like Alexa, where you'll start getting ads on your phone for whatever you just asked for. So a lot of our clients want high security, so we always recommend Josh. And that works with HomeWorks. You can even have it built into your light fixture. We talk about scenes. So we sit with your client, and I don't want to repeat, but whatever the moods and whatever you want. But a lot of times, the 2 most common scenes in voice control is good morning and good night. So with good morning, shades can go up, lights can, go from a different type of, dim to high, and music can play, the floors are heated. So it's an important factor of setting a good scene and having everything working the way they want, their experience, what's personal to them. And good night, of course, is, again, I don't know, but I'm usually in bed and I think, did my kids turn off the light? Is the garage door shut? And I'm running around after I was just all cozy. Here, you just say good night. The doors are going to lock. It's going to secure the entire home. And that's a great luxury.
Those are commands given from the master suite, typically,
yes.
right? Yeah.
In the kitchen, like we usually say the control panel is like kind of the base, or when you're getting out of the garage, you want to kind of like have everything there where the family can use it. And we also have ones that can move around the house, but one in the bedroom. It's on your phone as well. Backlit mirrors, we help in the bathroom with the radiant heat. And invisible speakers is just something I want to mention, because sometimes clients are like, invisible speakers, you're going to mud over that. What happens when they break? What happens when they don't work? It's a lot of fear with technology. It's going to, I have to replace it. One thing about invisible speakers is that it's the speaker that we hear is behind there, but the components that make it work are hidden away. They can be fixed, they can be changed and upgraded. And speakers have been around 100 years. There's not a lot more that's going to, it's pretty perfect at this point. I'm sure there's progress ahead. But at the end of the day, it's the components that we would replace. And it's a great solution. They can be in the ceiling, they can be in the wall. And if you're working with an interior decorator who doesn't want any technology, this is a great solution. I mean, I always say tower speakers should be in man caves, and that's it.
You weren't with us this morning, but we were talking about the invisible speakers.
Okay,
but
great.
I'm glad to hear it from another source.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's underutilized.
And to
as well.
hear them, they're fantastic. But if you have a major music, enthusiast or a rock star, there are other solutions, but the sound is of great quality. And that's another thing I like to say, what do you listen to? Do you listen to just NPR in the morning? We're not going to probably sell them the highest, line of speaker, and maybe Sonos works for them. So it's really understanding them. And that's how you get into those cost structures, because we don't want to sell the very best and make the most. We want to know what's best for them. And I'm just, oh, sure.
Your photo with the TV mounted in the bedroom reminded me of a conversation. My background, I have a background in thin panel porcelain, and one of the interior designers that I was speaking with at a seminar was saying how this is kind of a common presentation for the TV, but what they didn't like was this giant black square in the room when the TV's not on. What are the options for, other than retracting the TV itself, covering or a drape or something?
Yeah, you can get creative. I've seen drapery. I've seen actually like curtains come down. I have some people have screens come down from the ceiling, and there's a bunch of ways. Like I said, Tom Brady had his coming out from the bed, coming up, and is adjustable, and then you just tuck it away. We've done these in kitchen islands and in spaces where there's water views, and you just don't want to have anything obstructing it. It can be tucked away.
What about frame TV?
On frame TV, I love the frame TV, and I don't know if all of you know about it, but it looks exactly like art. And actually, you can subscribe and from any museum all over the world and put some of their artwork up. You can put pictures of family, and it's amazing in how real it looks. It actually dims within the room with the lighting in it, and there's very little glare. It's a great solution over a fireplace and also in a bedroom.
That's a good solution.
You need to go faster.
Oh, I have to go faster. Here we go.
I don't
Liz
sell
is-
TVs.
Liz's turn.
So I-
Oh, Liz's turn. I'm going to go fast, fast, fast. We did beautiful shading
Just kidding.
within the bathroom. We did the backlit radiant heat. And again, I'm just going to show you, we wanted everything to look and feel throughout the home. And so we had a lot of cove. We did a lot of LEDs. And, you know, it's just a beautiful, we did a lot of, here's another TV. We do the guest fireplace. Whoops.
It's a big
And I'm just
zebra.
gonna keep on moving. We, the wine encasement was built by the builder, and we lit it. And just again, there's light was very important. And there it is.
Beautiful.
That's a great
Thank you.
place.
And